Well, I think when you look at the situation in Syria today, it's a very complex situation. Naturally, decision makers, political decision makers, military decision makers, the intelligence community would feel more comfortable with something they know than the uncertain. And there's no doubt that the element of uncertainty concerning the fluid situation in Syria today is causing a headache not only to Israel but to the entire Western Hemisphere, but also to the Chinese and the Russians, Hezbollah, Iran, and everybody. So I would say that there are two options here. One of them is more negative or less optimistic or pessimistic. The other one is optimistic. From a pessimistic point of view, I would say that our major concern from an Israeli point of view is that as a result of the downfall, the disintegration of the central government authority by the Assad government, who's going to take in the political vacuum? As you know, there aren't any political vacuums. We have Hezbollah, we have Iran, we have the global jihad and al-Qaeda. Everybody wants in, and they are already there. Syria can break into something very similar that it was in 1920 during the San Remo Convention. We're going to have a separate Alawite entity on the shore. We're going to have the Druze and Jabal Druze. The Christians are going to be on their own. The Kurds are going to be on their own. That's a headache for Turkey, by the way. There won't be one central authority to prevent the troublemakers that are our major concern. For example, the increasing global jihad al-Qaeda activity now, already as we speak, on the Golan Heights, which is similar to what they're doing in the Sinai Peninsula, which now Morsi is trying to deal with. As long as the Syrian army was there, we didn't have any problems. So this is one. Another concern, of course, which you hear a lot, is the huge stockpile of chemical and biological weapons. Syria is the biggest country in the world with the largest stock of biological chemical weapons besides the Russian Federation and the United States of America. Who's going to take control of this, okay? Well, I say, first of all, one major red line is proliferation of the chemical and biological pile stocks to Hezbollah, which is something that we're watching very carefully 24 hours around. We're not the only ones, the Americans as well. The other red line, of course, is terrorist activity on the Golan Heights by the global jihad al-Qaeda networks there. As for the optimist side, I also want to touch the optimist side of opportunity. I totally agree with you. There is an opportunity here. And the opportunity here is weakening what we call the axis of evil, which is Iran, Damascus, and Hezbollah. The moment that Assad goes down, and you see how nervous the Iranians are on this matter. Ali Khamenei 2 days ago said that all those that are advocating the downfall of Assad, meaning the West, should be taken care of the Al-Quds, of the external branch of terrorist attacks of the Pasdaran, of the Revolutionary Guards, to start hurting their interest abroad, meaning the Europe and the United States. So they are very worried about this as well. Because the moment that the central axis falls apart, Iran has a very serious problem, and Hezbollah has a very serious problem. So, of course, from our point of view, this is even a blessing to see the weakening of both Hezbollah and anything that's pro-Iranian in the area. So that's why the picture is very complicated. Nobody's rejoicing as a result of the terrible carnage and onslaught that is going on there, which is horrible. The international community really hasn't done very much for the Syrian people. So when we look at Iran with a nuclear weapon coming down the road, I don't see the international community doing anything different. I mean, everybody's for itself. Everybody takes care of himself. And this is a very dangerous situation. Hasn't the world learned anything? What did the Arab League do for the Syrian people? Nobody's done anything for them. And they're dying by the thousands. Horrifying things have been going on there. And the international community is standing aside looking at it and doing nothing. Now, the Syrian army is not a toy. Although the Syrian army has been weakened and falling apart, and you have the Chinese and the Russians and the Iranians. But where is morality in all this matter? Where is morality in international relations?